My name is Sarah Grimwood, Chair of the Natural Resources Commission, and I'm calling this public meeting for order at 7 o'clock. Tonight's NRC meeting will be a hybrid in-person and Zoom meeting. We have a microphone set up on the commission table and plans will be projected through the TV monitor. If you're presenting via Zoom, please turn on your audio and microphone when it's time for you to speak. Following the presentation by the petitioner and questions from the commission, members of the public will have the opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment. Please identify yourself with name and address for the record. You can also raise your hand from your phone by dialing *9 and use *6 to unmute. All video screens will be turned off with the exception of any commissioners attending virtually and the current petitioner. Once the commission has acted on an application, the petitioner is free to leave the meeting. In the event of any technical difficulties, all matters on the agenda that have not been heard will be automatically continued to the November 19th meeting. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. At this time, I would like the commissioners to introduce themselves, please. Jim?
Jim Smith.
Bill Cremeza.
Nick Pappas.
Thank you very much. So as always, we will start the meeting with the opportunity for any public comment. This will be limited to up to 10 minutes with no more than 2 minutes allocated to any one speaker. Public comment is limited to items that are not on the agenda. Do we have any public comment to start with? Anyone? Okay. We are not ready to approve the meeting minutes that are on the agenda, so we'll move them to the next meeting. And I'll start by asking if any of the commissioners have any comments to start.
No, I don't. Nope.
Okay, next we'll go to Delia's director's update, please.
So the first thing on my update is the 1175 Elm Street. I brought this up to the commission at the last meeting. So this is the site where we have some stockpiling that MIG
Yes.
Corporation is stockpiling ostensibly for the Kelly's Corner project in Acton. The town manager had entered into an agreement with MIG Corporation in 2022 to stockpile those materials. And that agreement will be ending as of November 15th of this year. It was a 36-month agreement, and the town manager is not going to be extending that agreement. So town council sent a letter yesterday to MIG Corporation saying that the arrangement will not be extended and the materials will need to be removed by November 15th and the site restored by that time. So we're waiting for a restoration plan for that work.
Okay, and I know there were concerns about the barrier, what do they call it? Thank you, siltation barrier
Mhm.
having not being up to standard anymore, and you chase them until they fix that, right?
It's still not fixed.
Oh, it's still
So
not
it has been reinstalled, but it has not been properly installed, and so we're still waiting to get
I'm still
that.
pushing on them to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Can they actually fix it? Can they take everything out of there by that time? That's realistic.
well, the understanding is that everything will be removed by November 15th.
Okay.
It's the question of how much equipment they have and how many people.
Yeah,
The real issue is a lot of stockpiling of stuff, right? That's the part that has.
There's a lot of stockpiled material
Yeah,
on the site.
yeah. Is there any significant damage that you can see in the wetlands?
No,
Okay,
no, there's material definitely in the 25-foot no disturb zone, which is
Okay.
not supposed to be there. There's potentially material, some stones
okay.
in the wetlands. And they will need to propose a restoration plan before they.
And doing one more question about it, I keep on thinking it's an isolated wetland, but it's not, is it? It's connected, did you say somehow?
Yeah, it's bordering vegetated wetland.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
So the wetland system comes from the prison parcel on the opposite side of Elm Street.
okay,
Comes around between the light plant parcel and the gas station.
Okay,
And then goes underneath Route 2.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hopefully the next meeting we'll hear an update that it's all gone, but we'll see.
That's the expectation.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Anything else needed from you?
So, two other things. I think I mentioned at the last meeting about Chamberlain Park. The land manager, Will Holden, and the crew and some volunteers have been working on Chamberlain Park, refurbishing that bridge.
Yes.
And that's complete.
Good.
So I would just like to give a shout out to Bob White.
Yeah.
Who is tremendous. I mean, he volunteers a lot of time. And he did these really amazing caps on the railings. So the railings, many of the railings were replaced. Sorry, all the railings were replaced and a lot of the posts, and then he put these really nice signature caps on them, and then the decking that was in poor.
I walked it just a day or two ago. It is astonishing what he did. Even the bend of the wood in certain places,
Yeah.
it's just amazing.
Yeah.
That he got to.
Yeah, he did
So-
a great job.
So this is a terrible thing to ask. So is it really a need to rebuild the whole thing? Or is because he seems he's done a great amount of work on this thing.
Yeah, so there has been a lot of work, excellent work done, and so there's the top decking
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
piers,
underneath.
Yeah, the piers, right?
Well, there's underneath the top decking, there's a layer.
Okay,
underneath that
right.
That is not in great
Oh,
condition.
okay, all right.
The piers themselves are, according to the report that we had done probably 5 years ago
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
The piers are adequate
Oh.
and the whole bridge will be replaced within, the existing footprint on those piles.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear. Okay.
And then the last thing is not great news, but it's not unexpected, and that is that spotted lanternfly has been found in Concord. It's definitely moving into this area and this region. It was found at the Walden Woods Reservation by MDR, the Department of Agricultural Resources. And so they just gave the town notice that it had been identified and said that they were going to be sending out surveyors to see if there was additional occurrences.
Mm.
It's a very, very, very obvious.
I saw some in Western
Insects.
Pennsylvania. As soon as I saw it, I knew what it was.
Yeah.
White with black spots and
Yeah.
red
They-
markings on
yeah.
it. But they're up high,
Mhm.
so they are particularly interested in grates. But they also do attack other deciduous trees, ornamentals, fruit trees, as well as some, native trees. And what MDR has said is that it's not possible to eradicate this, but as far as invasive pests go, I mean, they're all not good. But it does seem that this appears to normalize.
Oh.
And I'm not sure, I don't know enough about it. There's some workshops that MDR is offering.
What do you mean appears to normalize? You mean the numbers or?
Yes.
The numbers are crazy in Pennsylvania.
So, and MDR is offering workshops and I haven't
Okay.
attended one yet.
Okay.
But what I've heard is that where they have been found in Massachusetts, there's enough predation by birds that their
Oh, good.
population is not getting out of control.
Okay.
But so Concord Currents, I think, goes out on a news and notices sign up, and so I can send that to anybody who's interested. But MDR is offering workshops on how to
Yeah.
identify it and what.
Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that for a long time on their.
Yeah.
On their newsletters, haven't they? But I'm sad to hear it's here. But
Yeah,
not surprised.
right. And that's it.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we have quite a long meeting today. Let's start with, we have an application to be withdrawn without prejudice. If I could have a motion, please.
I move that, the application, or that we approve the application on, 110 Spencer Brook Road, DEP file, 137-16 to be withdrawn.
Second.
Thank you. And the vote, Jim?
I,
Bill?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
Me as well, thank you. And could I have a motion to continue two applications to November 19th, please?
three. I think it's three, I think, oh, no, that's the. No, that's right. Okay, I move that we continue without discussion, the notice of intent, for 874 Barrett's Mill Road LLC, DEP file 13717-1719. And a request for determination of applicability for, Coles Commuter Services, RDA file 25-11. To, the November 19th, 2025 meeting.
Thank you, and the vote, Jim?
I,
Bill?
Aye.
Aye.
And I as well, thank you. Okay, so we have one continuance this evening. This is notice of intent for 124 Tarbell
Sorry, one
Spring
second.
Road. Yes.
In the waiting room, they can't get in. No.
Nobody's in the waiting room. Sorry.
Okay, who do we have for Tarbell Spring Road, please?
Hi, I'm here for that.
Oh, hi, good morning, good evening.
All right, hello, hello.
Oh, bad
All
now.
Good to go?
Oh, hi, would
Going
you like to come to the table?
Sure does.
Okay, Nathaniel, over to you.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, I can't really tell what's going on. Okay, so for the record, my name is Nathaniel with Stanton McNary, and this is for 124 Tarbell Spring Road, continued from the last meeting. So I'll just, we talked about everything quite a bit at the last meeting, and I think we left with pretty good consensus, so I will try to be a little brief in what the changes are, but basically going through them in order. So the couple things that we talked about at length, one of them was the shed, and my takeaway was that the consensus was that it was acceptable to rebuild the shed in the spot that it was, despite being partially in the no-build zone. So that's remained on the plan as it was the first time we submitted, and as is the.
Nathaniel, could I just revisit that? So first of all, the trees aren't on the plan. If you remember when we looked at the picture, there are at least two trees there, right? And that, I know, maybe it's not necessary to have them on the plan, I don't know, but just to remind everybody, this shed is behind the trees. And it was a preference to keep that, but I just want to revisit this one more time because
Sure.
it is clear that there is room to move the shed out of the 50. And I want to check with the commission their feelings on this one. I think last time we kind of landed, oh, it'll be okay, but as a commission, we're always asked to do everything we can to bring everything out of the 50. So I just wanted to kind of check in with everyone on that and how they felt about it.
Nor do we know if it's on the same footprint, we would
Yeah.
normally allow it, right? Is that the truth? Is that where we are in this? No, yes or no?
So generally, I mean, it's considered grandfathered.
Grandfathered in.
Right,
But
but the
preferably-
idea is that it's, if it is something that's a total rebuilds, that it would be moved to be in compliance with.
Well,
the
that's
50-foot
exactly how I feel about it. I mean, if it's grandfather, then I don't know, that's the way it is, but preferably it'd be to move it out.
Mm.
Yes, I remember saying that last
I know
time.
the argument last time, Nathaniel, that you gave that it would bring it more into the, it'd be more visible from the road in the front,
Yep.
on the other side of the trees, but I can understand for a falling down old shed, you wouldn't really want that, but if you're gonna put in a new shed, which presumably will look nice, I just wondered if that would be possible.
That's not something try and say this the right way, we're not looking to have a shed in our front yard. That would be very visible. from
So
the
it's
front
just
street.
that line that goes halfway through the shed is the 50-foot no build zone, so it wouldn't move it into the front yard.
Could you point out the front yard?
And so it'd be helpful to have the trees on the plan. There's limited
Well, yeah.
room to maneuver that shed because at the bottom, it's sort of bordered by the trees.
Yeah,
And we'll
they're,
have another alternative because the rest of our backyard, which would be more concealed from the street, is completely within the 50-foot build zone.
Could we characterize the front yard and the
Yeah,
backyard?
I think
on that
that's why
plan?
we're struggling to
Yeah,
characterize the
no,
front yard.
well, that's because it's got a different, it looks different orientation. except
Yeah.
the-
Yeah.
Daniel, do you want one of the photos you had in the appendix that we could? that we could share
yeah, so
and just
let me put it on the
for
screen,
fresh
yeah.
people?
Yep. This is a pretty good one. This is not has not been submitted. I mean, the reason that the trees weren't added to the survey plan was because my understanding was that it was, evident like that
Understood.
it's a proximity and you could tell from the direction where they are. I can mark them up pretty easily on the plan to show where they are, but I mean this isn't even quite a view from like the front, but like you can see this is really the front of the house right here. We would be talking about it kind of floating, in the middle of the yard. And
So
I
there's a
know,
slope that goes down as well, isn't there? I hadn't appreciated that either.
yeah,
Is there a slope? Am I looking at that right?
But it would be.
yeah,
coming
it's
this way.
yes,
So, I mean,
So it would be a lot more visible at this point.
Be coming up, yes, becoming higher.
So we're looking from the front now, are we? In
Mhm.
this,
Yeah,
in this
correct.
photo?
yep. So you're looking from probably from like right here.
Okay, okay.
So I mean, they're committed to not expanding it, just replacing it. Um, as far as the coverage goes, that's in the buffer zone, there would be no net change, and there's a commitment to not put it any closer than it is. So that is the reasoning, and then moving
Yeah,
it
The setback really complicates it too, because it
Right.
pushes it closer to the house.
and it's coming to the point where the lot is making kind of an angle with the view that they're trying to maintain from where what's considered the front of the house from around here. And then I mean just to show it again, I don't know if there's another one that next to it or not, but
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of a closer view right there. But
My sense is if we can get there, personally, I think if we can get there on the rest of the issues that.
Yeah, let's go through the
this
rest
one
of the
does
issues.
not.
Yep.
I think this is marginal best.
okay, so if you want me to continue with
Let's
just
keep
everything else.
going. What's the
Yep.
thing?
Okay, so the other point, we have since provided the impervious area table to the commission. And then the other big point of discussion was the driveway, and that kind of combines into the point about the mitigation plantings. So if you're looking at now, all the spot grades and whatnot and the regrading of the driveway is all the same as we proposed originally. And one of the main concerns was about the runoff and whether we're whether we're creating a big increase in the amount of runoff that leaves the driveway. So we expanded the amount of shrubs that are proposed. So where this was probably like 1 to 2 wide before, it's about 3 wide now. In terms of shrubs, we bumped the number up, so there's 16 proposed in total, which is very much exceeding the what that would count for impervious area. So it's well above the 1-to-1 that we would have needed for this, or for the however it's calculated. It's well above what's required for a mitigation area. And like I said, there's extra ones to create more of a barrier in between where the driveway is and where the planting area is, smaller area of lawn. And then I know that people were interested in this at the last meeting. The owner was able to get a nice view of kind of what the ponding effect looks like. So this is kind of like we talked about, so it's not really even and consistent, and it's also not a huge volume of water that's prevented from ultimately running off in the direction of the stream. But it is enough to create a pretty major problem, especially you can tell there's a couple really significant divots right by the garage. All it would take is a more significant storm than we've had recently, which is when these pictures were taken to, you can see how it can pretty easily, back up and create a problem, which is why they're the regrading is considered necessary by them.
Nathaniel, can I just go back to the mitigation planting?
Yep.
So my understanding was that there was some conversation with staff about the sheep lawn. We did
Yeah, that's
receive-
gone. Yep.
Oh,
Fixed it.
that's all sorted now, is it? Okay,
Okay.
good.
We
Okay,
got,
thanks.
yep,
Clarifying.
yeah.
Okay. And we have the table in which we asked for.
Yep.
And another piece we talked about and wanted to be very clear on is that the lowest part of the fence needs to be raised 6 inches for the ground.
Yep, and this is labeled on every point that calls out the fence on this plan, 6 inch gap above ground. Every point that calls out that there's gonna be a new fence, it's very clear. Provides 6 inch minimum gap above ground. And that's consistent with how, when they did the RDA, how it was noted that it would have that clearance above the ground. So it's very, like I said, called out in every place.
So I think that's everything. But going back to the shed, are you going to be having any plantings just out of interest in any landscaping in the front yard? I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity for landscaping that would
Yes,
shield the shed and therefore not make it so stood out if you moved it forward.
so I'm not sure we're thinking of landscaping of that degree that would shield an object like the shed. But if you look at, again, if it helps see the photo, we have not yet moved forward the project to landscape in front of it along the right side of our property. And we're very open towards using native plants as we do that that potential project on the right side as part of to support any mitigation for the larger project, or just to represent the circumstances with the wetlands as part of the overall plan.
Yeah, so I think the way we have it, the planting now is good for protecting the wetlands, so that I wouldn't want to suggest we change that. I just wondered if you considered if planting could be used as shading for the shed in a different place.
So I just have a question in terms of the shed location with this photograph. Nathaniel, if that shed were to be placed in front of those 2 pines, does that move it out of the 50-foot no build zone right there where your cursor is?
Let me see, I can probably approximate it. I mean,
Is there any room behind the trees to still move it?
That's property
Be more in the 50-foot zone plus its property line.
This is the
Yeah.
property listed setback, like the dotted line is the setback from the property line.
yeah, I mean, we talk about going like this.
No, I don't think so.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you can put sheds in the setback. I think it's a 5-foot, but
I just, yeah.
no, it doesn't have to move that far. It just has to move to the other side of the 50-foot.
Yeah, right, but I
With
think
the
you were
trees,
asking if it
that's
was
where the
in
trees
between the
are.
trees.
That's where the trees
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, so the
So,
trees are, I mean,
Nathaniel,
realistically, it's like here, yeah, sorry, yep.
And the root systems, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like setbacks for sheds are. No, I think actually it is. Sheds have to meet the setback.
Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just don't, it's hard for me to get
Yeah, no,
excited about
I'm
it here. I
okay.
mean, I do. I mean, obviously, we're also telling people that if they build the shed, come back and say, oops, we built the shed 5 feet bigger than it was before, that they're gonna have to tear down the shed, because we're not gonna allow that, right? I mean, it's like, we've been very, very strict.
Yeah,
But I think that it's hard
no,
in
it's,
this case to, where you're getting, we can ask and people
well, that's
can
what we're doing.
consider,
We're
that's what we're
asking.
doing, but if
We're
they-
re-asking, but.
I think they're saying no, so I'm sort of happy to move on.
Yeah, is everyone?
Yeah, I mean, that's it, I just move on.
Okay, but thank you for listening. We try. Okay, I think. So what, are we asking for any more information?
No,
Well,
that's
we're not
it.
ready to close this, are we?
I think you are now, aren't you?
But
We don't have a
it.
permit
Mm.
ready, but it can be closed and then.
And
issued at the next
provide
meeting.
at the next meeting, which you
Yeah.
wouldn't have to attend.
May I just add one
Yes,
thing
please,
about the
Rosie.
fence, in the detail? It's about 6 inches from the lower bar, but we were wanting it to be 6 inches from the lowest part of the fence, which is the pickets come down further than the bar. Maybe I should.
So on the details that are in the plan, Rose, you've probably got them in front of you, is that not 6 inches then?
Right, do you want to share that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so everyone's clear.
So
Oh,
we would like it to be 6 inches from the bottom of the pickets rather than from the
rail,
bar
Oh, right.
in the middle, because then
Oh.
they're still gonna be forced through
yes, yes.
these
Yeah,
nearly 4 inch gaps, which are fairly small. So just,
Mm.
I wanted to clarify because, I mean,
Mhm.
we would have included it as a special condition, but just to clarify the difference in the,
Thank you. Rose.
That,
I didn't
sure.
pick up on
So
that.
does Nathaniel, does the plan say that clearly? Does
The
lowest-
plan says provide 6 inch gap. Yep. So I mean, in my opinion, if the, bars are 3 feet,
That's-
3 inches off the ground, they're not providing a 6 inch gap. So a 6 inch empty space, in my opinion, is what the plan reflects.
on the bottom of the bottom of the picket.
It says
Right.
above ground. Yep. So ground provides 6 inch gap.
Okay.
Okay.
That is what it
Yeah.
says.
Just to be sure that everybody's on the same page with that.
So can you walk me through an example?
Yeah.
The pickets there are less than 6 inches where Rose's cursor is.
Yeah,
That's less than 6 inches.
That needs to be
So
6.
that has to be 6 inches above grade.
okay.
And
then if we were to have a fence design where the pickets like ended at that bottom bar and
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's,
Perfect.
fine.
that's,
yeah.
and
It's all
then-
about letting animals, some
No, no,
animals are
so
quite
let me
fat, getting underneath, yeah.
That's our,
That
that's our,
woodchucks.
that's our goal as well. We have not, gone through the process to actually purchase or select the fence.
Okay,
So I'm hoping that this drawing is submitted as illustrative.
Mhm.
And we would not need to resubmit the plan but just could agree on that 6 inch gap and.
right.
yeah, that's all.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
And no major changes to, the materials and the
Mhm.
general layout, but yes, if the pickets were flush with that bar, then
Okay,
like this originally showed, there's a 6 inch gap from that
Yeah.
lower bar. So that's another option.
Mhm.
Okay, Nathaniel? That clear?
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Yep. Yeah, a lot of times, I know it's different here, but a lot of times people haven't actually picked out the exact product of
Yeah.
fence that they want and what exactly it's going to look like. So that's why the language on the plan is the way that it is.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay, so we will have a permit ready for the next meeting, November 17th then.
Mhm.
Number 19.
Oh, 19th, okay,
19th.
sorry.
So are we closing the hearing though and then just
We
issue the permit?
can't really close it till we issue the permit next meeting, right?
I mean, you can close it. I don't recommend that you close it in case there's additional information that the applicant wants to provide.
Okay.
If you close it, then it's no additional
So
information.
we'll just close an issue at the next meeting.
Yeah, correct.
Lovely,
Yes.
Spencer.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
are there any follow-ups that we need to provide to move
No.
forward or?
No, you're all set.
No. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Mhm.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thanks, Nathaniel.
All right. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Okay, we have a number of new applications. So the first one is Concord Public Works. And this is for Spencer Brook Road. DP file 1371721.
Yeah, sure.
Hi,
Hi,
good evening.
I'm the project manager for the town of Concord. We have
Tammy, do you want to just introduce yourself?
Your
Yeah,
name?
Yeah.
sorry,
You're right.
Samsha Potter, project manager for the town of Concord Engineering Division. We have online Jason and Matthew, who are the engineers for our project, so. Yeah,
Great.
Thank you.
should I be giving update on what's?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes.
Okay, so, we received the appeal from the Department of Environmental, and we had, set up a meeting with them to go over the plans, their comments. We did that, we did the site visit on this Monday. Walked through the project with them, and as of right now, we're just waiting on the comment letter for them,
Okay.
from them. So once we receive that, that would be addressed and resubmitted, for the project.
Okay, so we're hoping you'll have everything in place so that we can issue an order of conditions at the next meeting then.
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't we already issue one?
We did.
So this is
Yeah.
an amendment to
Oh,
that
okay.
order of conditions
Yeah.
based on the,
The appeal.
The
Yeah.
appeal.
Yeah, right. Okay.
right.
Um,
So I don't know if, Bright Pierce has anything that they want to add to that?
I think Jim had a question, sorry.
Well, this description that we have, that you've given us, Delia, really talks about the sort of process.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'm trying to understand I understand that there was some issues and then we submitted a new proposal and, a lot of procedural issues, but is it really that different than what's the difference between what we are seeing now and what we saw before and approved?
So we haven't seen anything new. So the issues were that, there was comments that the commission had and comments that DEP had on the initial submittal. And the response to comments was a new notice of intent. And so DEP did not feel like they had a clear understanding, and they received it the day that I think it was the day that
Mhm.
we issued the permit. And so because there's only a 10-day appeal period, they felt that they had to intervene. And so they did that through, their standard appeal process. And this is just working through to make sure that their comments are addressed. I think the site visit was very helpful on Monday. There was some questions that they had about the extension of the culvert, which is really to address a safety concern where the travel lanes on Spencer Brook Road in that location are less than 11 feet, and the guardrail has been compromised many times. The culvert itself is an old stone box culvert. It's failing. It's falling in.
Right.
So, everybody got down to the culvert and looked in and everyone was like, oh, okay. DEP said, we get it. So it's really just a matter of getting those comments addressed. I think there will be some minor changes to the plan. And we have Wright Pierce here, if there's anything that you want to add to this. But what we're anticipating is that DEP will issue an informational letter by the end of the week. And that Wright Pierce will respond to that with plan revisions.
Okay.
There were some questions that they had about the low flow channel and some stream crossing standard concerns that they had. And
then when we see this again in whatever 19 days or whatever, we'll see those revisions. We'll see what those,
Right.
how the plans
Right.
flow through. Okay, got it.
right, this is really sort of a,
Informational update.
right, exactly.
Excellent.
Okay, I realize I didn't do this on the last application, so I'll go back and do that in a minute, but are there any public comments on this application? You online? No. Okay, so we'll leave this application there then,
Mhm.
but I just want to give the opportunity, if it's not too late, for any public comments, if there were any, on the previous application, 124 Tarbell Spring Road.
I think you did.
I don't think I did public.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't really expect any, but, okay. Okay, but forgive me. Like I said, I'm not Oh, that's today. Jet lagged.
Hmm.
Okay,
So
so
we're
thank
all
you very
set?
much.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we have a notice of intent for 108 Comerford Road, DP file 1371724.
Hey guys, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Montgomery Wisdemski and McNary at 1000 Main Street, Acton. I'm going to be representing the applicant today. If you can allow me to share my screen and let me share it.
You should be, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yep, you're co-host.
Right.
all right. So this is 108 Comerford Road in Concord. So basically, we do have an existing house on site. We do have 2 sheds, and we do have a garden and a greenhouse. Um, we do have existing driveway here. And this is approximate location of the existing septic system on site. We do have wetlands on site, and you can see the BVW here that spans across here. And we also have some BVW here on this side of the property. As you can see, most of the property is within the 100-foot, actually not most of the property, the entire property is within the 100-foot buffer zone. And this is the line that offsets that 100-foot buffer zone from this BVW here. The 2 sheds, this one is within the 25 no disturb zone. And this one is just a section of it that's within the 25 no disturb zone. The rest is within the 50 no build zone. So basically the scope of this project is to replace and rebuild a section of the existing house, which is this portion, and I highlighted in red. So basically they're gonna be rebuilding, taking it down and then rebuilding it in the same exact place with the same exact footprint. So there will not be an increase in impervious, and it's gonna be on sonotubes. I think that's what's gonna be on. So basically, there's no increase in impervious on site. We do have the shed closest to this BVW, and there's a pond in this area. This shed, I spoke with the client, and they're comfortable removing this shed that's within the 25-foot no disturb zone. So this shed will be coming out, and we have this siltation barrier going around and showing the limit of work. And we also actually requesting a waiver because you're gonna have to install this siltation barrier within the 25-foot buffer zone to remove the shed and to also construct and rebuild this part of the existing house. We have a stockpile area, which we had in the 50 buffer zone, but I spoke with Delia and she recommended that we move it outside. So this new plan shows this stockpile area outside of that 50 no disturb zone. So I would take any questions from the commission.
Yeah, so thank you for responding quickly to the staff comments and changing the plan. So the shed that's remaining, I just wanted to clarify, that's just remaining as is, isn't it? You're not rebuilding it or anything?
No, it's remaining as it is. I spoke to the client and he said it's mostly for storage and it has a lot of equipment that they're using on site. This one, they said is pretty beat down, it's kind of old, so they don't mind removing it.
Okay,
Okay, good. That's good.
yeah, I don't have any questions. Does anybody else?
No. No.
Hmm. So we weren't expecting everything to be set tonight, weren't we? So I guess we
We'll have a
we
permit at
we
the
can
next-
agree that everything looks good and then we'll plan to close an issue at the next meeting on the 19th of November. Yeah. I'll just ask if there's any public comments on this one, please. Don't see any. No.
I guess I
Okay.
just have one question. There seemed to be some interest, Montgomery,
Mhm.
on, there's mitigation would not be required, and if it were, the shed removal from the 25 is definitely a benefit. But there seemed to be some interest from your clients on invasive species removal. Is that something that they're contemplating? Is that something that you would want to include under this filing?
I think it's something that would consider, given that
Mhm.
there's also, we're removing the shed, so the impervious inside is decreasing by like 136 square feet. So, and of course, rebuilding it, this section within the same exact footprint. So I think it's something that they would consider.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep, I just wanted to check.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And I also just want to clarify for everybody, on the agenda, it's stated that this is within that 200-foot riverfront area. But that is not the case, just in case anyone was wondering, just for the record.
Okay.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
It's an intermittent stream, so please disregard.
So I'm sorry, we've talked about it. And I'm not holding it in my mind. So the part of the house that's being replaced,
Yeah.
I get that. Is that in the 50-foot area or not? That's not.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I
Yeah.
thought it was, okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just trying to make sure I'm.
Yeah.
Clear on where the maps are there. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're done.
So we're done. Yeah, so thank you very much, Montgomery. The plan's very
Thank you
clear.
thank you so much.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so next up we have 116 Easterbrook Road for notice of intent. I don't think we have a full DP file for this one yet, do we?
We got a DEP file number today, I believe
Okay.
it's 1726. Okay, we did, yes. See that, David,
Okay.
go ahead, I think you're raising your hand to and say what the DEP file number is.
He's muted.
You can unmute.
Yeah, we have it here too.
Okay.
Oh, hi. Sorry, good evening. I'm in too many places at once.
I was just waving and saying hello.
So if you need the number, it's 137-1726. It was issued
Thank
today.
you, just for the record. Right. Okay, so would you like to present the project?
Sure. Sorry, my name's David Calwett. I'm a managing engineer with Park Corporation. Have here Lauren Gluck. She's a managing engineer in our natural resources group. And we have online Dave Presh. He's one of our engineers. We're here today to talk about the 116 Estabrook Road after the fact dam removal. I can get into a little bit of history of why the dam needed to be removed if the commissioner wants to hear that. But so last year, the client reached out to us to let us know that, or to look at the spillway. There was a wall collapsing and there was water kind of coming around it. She was able to get the spillway wall stabilized and project kind of went quiet for a little bit. Then in June of this year, we were reached out to because a beaver had moved in on the dam and constructed a lodge on the dam. And the owner was dealing with beaver debris in front of the spillway, which was kind of causing the water levels to fluctuate pretty constantly. We applied for an emergency removal to remove some of the beaver debris and try to get it down and see if that would work. The owner had installed a beaver deceiver fence and pipe device previously. And within 3 weeks, the beaver had reconstructed the dam. Honestly, it was probably quicker than that based on when we were out there, what the beavers were doing. But within 3 weeks, water levels were back up. When we went out when PAR went out to walk the site and do some inspections, we saw some other concerning aspects to the dam structure itself. One, it was completely overgrown with trees. There was seepage coming out of the dam. Normally we'll see it at the toe of the dam. We were seeing it a foot below the crest of the dam. Water levels were within, because of the beaver debris in front of the spillway, within 1 inch of overtopping the dam. And when we were walking across the dam, there were pools of water that were connected all the way across, so we could tell that the internal embankment was compromised. And when we saw that, we kind of made the recommendation to the owner that there's nothing salvageable about this embankment, so you would either have to keep the pond, you either have to completely remove it down to the foundation and rebuild it, or you could, you know, go the removal aspect. The owner elected to go with the removal aspect. And because of the beaver and the attempt of trying to lower the water level, on these dams that have compromised embankments, constant fluctuations of the water level can shift materials around, even more. So it just kind of creates a risky environment. Downstream of the dam, there's Estabrook Road, which was it's the sole access for several houses. So if this dam were to fail and overtop that road or wash it out, it would cut off access, emergency access and personal access to several residences. So that's when we approached the commission to get the emergency removal. That was granted on September 15th. Contractor was out there that day to begin removing stop logs. I believe we submitted a photo document kind of showing the process through construction there, but basically the contractor removed the stop logs. We lowered the water level. I think it was between 6 inches to a foot a day. Once the water levels were at the spillway, the contractor removed the spillway, installed a pipe, and then used an excavator to access across and kind of peel back the embankment, starting on the west side, moving east. As they peeled it back, they loamed because we were basically removing the only real access way across the embankment. So they loamed as they removed, and then brought it down to the final elevation. In the area where the kind of permanent stream channel is, that area was riprap to just kind of prevent high flows or anything from causing erosion and discharging sediment downstream. The material itself that was excavated out, there was a kind of pocket in the adjacent slope. Our thoughts are that's probably where this material originally came from,
So I don't want to interrupt you. This is very helpful and useful information, but David online, would it be helpful for you? You can share your screen if you have the project plans or photos. I don't know what is most helpful to help sort
Yeah,
of
Dave, that
illustrate
might be helpful.
Dave,
Dave as well.
I know you are, I know. Right, so Dave, you two Daves, I think it would be helpful to have some imagery. We can project it
Yeah.
from here, but I think might be best, I think you are a co-host, so you should be able to share. Are you not able to share, Dave? Okay, let me try this again. You should be able to share.
Let's
Sorry about
see.
that.
Oh, showing all my screens. How do I stop that? There we go. Okay, I'll share this screen.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Great.
So, yeah, so here's the plan. Dave, if you want to zoom in on the existing conditions area for the
Oh, let me,
Fill area.
sorry.
that's, yeah, on that page, just zoom in on. Yep, right where your cursor is. Okay, so yes, we found a pocket in that slope there. Basically right adjacent to where the dam is. The dam is, yep, right over there. And so as the contractor was removing the embankment material, which was really a kind of a clean sand, what we found, we were placing it back into that pocket in the embankment, and based on the final grades, basically it filled in that pocket very nicely. So our thoughts are that's where the material originally came from to construct the dam.
Yeah.
And this is currently kind of how the grading has filled in over there. So yeah, we filled in that, and currently at that site, there were several, as I said, there were trees that were removed, and so some of the trunks of that tree are lining the toe of that slope, and we have backed those tree trunks with silt fence right now. Right now that area is uncovered. There was some discussion about putting seed down. But given the time of year, we don't necessarily think seed is going to take. We agree with the commission's outlook that jute mesh is, it traps animals and it's not ideal here. And so here we have some pictures of, kind of what that looks like. I would like to say around the kind of perimeter of this fill area, there is other refuse from like the removal. So there's a lot of sticks and branches that kind of lining it, which would limit any kind of runoff or slow any runoff coming off the hill. And it is kind of being covered with the native pine needle cover. That's basically what is present on the adjacent slopes. So that's kind of the history of why the
Yeah.
project.
So
was
the
moving.
dam was there because there was a stream. It was impounding the water from the stream. So the stream is being restored, or could you explain?
So Dave, could you go to some of our photos of what the
Hmm.
water body looks like now?
Sure. Let me just see where they are.
So we did some, as we were preparing for this, we did some bathymetry of the pond. And where the dam is itself, the downstream channel was around elevation 132, 133. There were some deep points in the impoundment area down. They went as low as elevation 128, 129. So there is a remnant pool that is there. And there's a stream channel, so you can kind of see the central pocket of trees in the middle of this photo. There's a stream channel that comes in from the left and right sides of that.
So how many acres of a pond, I mean, the pond, I remember walking, they've been wonderful about allowing people to walk on their property in the past. And it's a huge pond, it was a huge pond. How many acres was it originally? And how many acres is it now roughly?
It was 3 acres originally, I want to say, and then it's just under an acre.
Just under an acre. And,
Yeah, it's
and,
right around an acre.
and will that continue to fill, or it'll stay at?
So you can see the stones in the foreground
Yep.
of the picture there.
Yep.
Dave, go back the picture. So the stones in the, so that stone right there is at elevation 133, which is the native stream channel downstream of where the dam used to be.
Mhm.
And so the water will fill basically to that elevation and drain out.
So again, for me to talk about in terms of acreage, it's about an acre and a half now, you
It's
said?
about an acre.
An acre?
About
is
1
what
acre
it's-
now.
Will it expand back to another acre or stay about where it is right now?
They'll stay at.
At an acre, okay. All right.
Yeah, the pictures are helpful, thank you.
The deepest area is probably around 3 feet deep or so,
3 feet, okay.
maybe
So
4.
during the opening that we have during a 100-year event, we would expect a rise of around 3 inches in here, 3 inches of water flowing over this stone fill area. But then it would.
Where does it go?
Goes, so is this a tributary to Dackins? Dackins Brook. So it goes under, there's a small culvert, like an 18-inch diameter culvert that goes under Estabrook Road. And then it
Just
flows
leads to a
into-
natural stream before that.
and flows into Dackins and then Concord River.
So going back to the restoration plantings that were proposed. Seed at this time of the year. Yeah, that.
I don't think it would hurt to put it down. I think, we had suggested, I thought you were gonna place
So
that.
we did place.
Oh, you did?
seed,
Okay,
yes.
so you put a
Oh, you
seed
did.
mix down
Okay.
and then,
And it was the seed mix we had talked about minus the fescue.
okay, great. So if you can just give us a hard copy of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that we had sort of talked about was the erosion control blanket
Mhm.
on some of these unstabilized slopes. To put that down over the winter, just to make sure that nothing moves. I mean, it's helpful to have something at the down gradient and the silt fence, or, probably straw wattle would be sufficient, 12-inch straw wattle, but to put down some sort of erosion control blanket that's not jute mesh.
It's not, what did you say?
Jute mesh.
Ah.
Flexterra. You could put on, a steeper slope.
And there was also a question whether there was an intention to retain a path along the former berm. Did we talk about that?
Not yet.
No, okay.
So currently a restoration plan, shows no path there. However, I think it's flexible where we do have to provide a revision to that plan anyway.
Yeah.
So if we did wish to maintain, pedestrian access across, we could create a little break in the plantings. So, I'm not sure if that's something you wish to do, we could make that modification or where is that?
So we just wondered whether you intended to maintain a path across the old berm.
Oh, the way we had the bridge there?
Yes.
Talking possibly stepping stones too.
Sure.
Possibility.
Mhm.
You just don't want to put anything in there where the beavers can build.
Right.
Because they will.
They will.
Right,
Yeah.
so
They'll
if
come
you're
right back.
planning stepping stones, it would be good to just include that.
And it's up to, I mean, if you can see or some other type of path, but I mean, that's completely fine.
Mhm.
It doesn't really get used from that direction.
Mhm.
Really, that I know of, people have come in off of Estabrook Road,
Yeah,
next to the pond,
right.
but I don't know.
It's
Yeah, very
up to you.
Yeah.
That was just a question, because it had to be.
And you also don't know what's gonna happen now that the pond is smaller, right?
Right, well, maybe I'll need waiters.
No, I just meant that the pedestrian traffic could change based on the
Yeah.
fact that the topography gets changed.
Well, I think I should just also explain our neighbors on Estabrook Road, there's not like a true right of way, I believe, is that correct? Right off Estabrook Road, so I don't think it's maintained through their property to get to our property.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't happen anymore, so it's also
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Makes sense, okay.
Well, whatever
But
works.
we welcome him, you can walk down.
It's been very generous for you to let people walk back there.
Okay.
So if there was a path, are there necessarily any requirements for it, or is it just a split in the plantings that would
Well,
allow
if you're
foot traffic?
gonna put stepping stones, you should show those on the plan.
Okay.
But really, it was just, if you're going to have a path, then you don't wanna overplant it.
Mhm. And also, my understanding is that there was some invasive common reed identified.
Yeah, correct. So on the north side of the pond, quite distant from the dam, actually, there's a small patch of Phragmites that we found. We only delineated wetlands at the dam, but we did walk the whole perimeter to get an idea of what wetlands we had present and identify, is it called out right there? Yeah, you can see it
I
kind
don't
of.
think it's in this plan, but it's right here.
Yeah, so it's bordering the lower end of one of the adjacent lawns.
I think I have the wrong one
So
open.
it wasn't too substantial of an area. It was about 5 feet in diameter, so
Mm-hmm.
a few stalks of Phragmites, but we do recognize the importance of managing that because we don't want to create the perfect environment for it to grow.
Right.
Where the pond used to be.
Mhm.
So that would be part of the restoration effort, would be to remove that. And we did get your comments today, Delia, and I know that you wanted a little more detail on how that would be carried out, so we'll certainly provide that before the next meeting. And then I believe, Delia, you had seen a buckthorn or two on the dam crest as well, or somebody had
Oh,
noted that
yeah.
there was a buckthorn.
I mean, there's a lot of terrestrial invasives. I don't think we're suggesting that you try to manage those. It was
Okay.
really just the frag.
Yeah, the frag that can creep in.
Yeah.
So
I think,
I'll
yeah,
call it.
the buckthorn is
All over that area.
it's,
There we go.
yeah.
ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you received the note from staff then on the other pieces that needed addressing.
Yeah.
Should we go through those or are they all clear?
I believe they were all pretty clear. Dave, were there any that I have a copy of it somewhere in my file here? Here it is. Yeah, so the filing fee, so we do understand there is a multiplier, so we'll provide that supplemental fee. And Dave was in contact with the DCR office already. He has some email correspondence from them that we can include.
Mhm.
In our response to comments, the MIPA comment, we've done the public notice. The ecological restoration NOI, it looks like, you wanted some more narrative information on compliance with those standards, which we can provide in our response to comments. The slope stabilization for disturbed slopes, we talked about this evening, with the erosion control blanket. The, when the site was seeded, so that was,
I think it's on the 20th.
yeah, so, and we'll include this all in our response.
Good.
And then some corrections for the restoration plan. There's a typo where I had to change a note. And then some methodology on the common read. So they were all pretty straightforward and we'll get that to you soon. DEP also indicated they did issue a file number. They've not had time to provide their full technical comments. I'm not sure what we'll be receiving from them, but we'll want to make sure we address all of those as well as Natural Heritage did provide their letter today, right before the meeting. And all their comments were the same as the ones that they initially provided when we reached out to them with the checklist. So no surprises there.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I didn't mention that, but we did have, this is areas marked by Natural Heritage as a landing turtle potential habitat. So we did have, herpetologist on, staff and call, and they came out and went along with Warren.
Yeah.
Taught the contractors about what to look for and, it was a LEC.
LEC.
Yeah, LEC Environmental came out, to do, daily checks of the site prior to starting excavation, so.
We didn't find any turtles in the work area, fortunately. So, and he'll be doing a follow-up report as part of Natural Heritage requirements. They want a compliance report to be done after the work. So after all the plantings are completed, and that will include his observations.
Okay. Anything else from the commissioners?
No, it's great. No, it sounds fun.
So in order to revisit this with all the revised plans and close it all out, on the 19th, we'll need everything by noon on the 7th of November. Is that okay? Yeah. And before we close, thank you. Are there any public comments on this? Are there any public comments on this application? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My work.
Yeah.
Particularly for the
So next up we have
Oh, I stopped
232
sharing.
Southfield Road, it's an RDA file 2516. Good evening.
Hi.
Bookmark's right place.
I'm Melissa Wall. Homeowners at 232 Southfield Road.
Would it be helpful to have quick background, or should I assume everybody read materials I sent, or?
I think you can assume everyone's read it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
happy with this.
yeah, this is pretty.
It seems like it was
straightforward.
simpler than some other things we heard about.
Yes.
Unless the beavers find you.
Well, that could take down the trees.
That's right. If we should, then,
It's
Yeah.
terrible. I just ask if the commissioners have no comments or questions. I'll
Well,
ask.
maybe just a quick overview of what the project is.
Okay, let's do that.
Just- Yeah.
Let's do that.
Sure,
Good.
so
Yeah.
we have 9 red pines that have sadly all died. We were told by one botanist or arborist that it was southern pine beetle, another one said it was red pine blight. I don't know what it is, but you can see boring holes
Mhm.
all over the trunks, and 2 of them, the tops have already broken off and fallen on other living trees. And I just worry about the hazard of the other ones falling, because it seems like they're not far behind the 2 that already had broken off.
We've kept an eye on them, so I mean, it's seen steadily decline, and every year it's like, do we have to do something? Like, let's just see if they come back to life, but no, there is no hope for that.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
did notice when we did our site visit that there is, I didn't write it down, it was either an oak or a maple that's up close to, your patio, that has a broken branch.
Yeah.
Okay, so just make sure your arborist, I mean, that's
They
something
are
that-
planning to take care of that. as
Okay,
part of
good,
this.
that's outside of, commission jurisdiction, but.
No, it's,
Okay.
On our minds.
we're worried about that tree in
Make
general.
sure you've
because
seen
It
it.
was, it split 3 ways at
Yeah.
the base when it grew, and one's already fallen, I think in the town right away in the neighbor's yard.
Okay,
Ours is pretty precarious and rotting at the base, so.
Yeah.
We would like to keep it as long as we can, but.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good. Okay. Are there any public comments on this application? No. Okay, well, we're ready with, we're gonna issue, who's gonna do that?
Do it. So we will I move that we close the hearing for RDA for project 232 Southfield Road, on application RDA number 25-16. And that we issue a negative determination number 2 and 3. That the work is occurring in a resource area in the buffer zone, but will not adversely affect the resource areas, and a notice of intent is not required.
Thank you, and the vote, Jim,
Aye.
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 and I'm an aye as well.
Yes,
Okay.
Thanks for making it so easy.
Very good. That's not good news.
Okay, so
The trees will make that happen. Unfortunately.
next we have, 150 Garfield Road, DEP file 1371725. Who do we have representing this project?
Yes, yes, this is
Montgomery.
Montgomery Stemsky McNary. I'm gonna be representing the applicant tonight for the NRAD. Let me share my screen.
Also present is attorney Dan Goodrich from Murphy and King in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm also going to be representing the applicant. I'm going to leave most of the speaking to my colleague Montgomery, but I'd like to be heard when appropriate, if possible.
Yes, so this is 150 Garfield Road. So the purpose, we do have an existing BVW here in the back of the property. As you can see, there was a site visit, I think on Thursday, the 23rd. So they went out on the field with Dave Crossman, the members of the commission, and they only had one change to the plan, to this NRAD plan, forgot to mention. This is an NRAD plan, and we're seeking confirmation for this delineation of the wetland boundary. So they only had one change to this delineation, which was this flag 11A. So we did locate that and added it on the plan, and we revised the plan accordingly. We revised the 100-foot buffer zone. So the plan that you're looking at right now, and because we also added this test pit location according to Dave Crossman's field data sheets, which Delia did ask that we add on the plan. So basically, that's the plan in front of you here. We're just seeking confirmation for the delineation for this line.
So, and I think a little background might be helpful here. So there have been 3 projects on this property in the past 10 years, plus or minus. There was a septic replacement that was done when the property sold, and then when the property was sold, the applicant, who is not the current owners, proposed a tear down and rebuild that was approved. And it had a different wetlands delineation than what is shown on this plan. And
Tear down and rebuild the whole house or everything or what?
the whole house was torn down and rebuilt. So
Okay.
what you see now is the recently constructed house.
Got it, yeah.
In between, at some point, I think in between the time of the septic plan and the demo and rebuild plan, there was a wetland delineation that David Crossman, who is the wetland scientist, asked me to come out and review, and we looked at it together, and the delineation was a high delineation, but it was retained. And then when the current owners brought forward the proposal in 2020 to construct a backyard that was not present with the demo and rebuilds, it was using that the old delineation that had not been revised with what we thought was a lower delineation. Because it was never captured, and I'm not sure why that was, it just.
When you say lower, you mean it would have been farther away from the house?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is more reflective of what the actual wetland boundary is, but it's different from what is on the 2020 plan, and that's more relevant to the next conversation, which has to do with a violation. But we have reviewed that boundary, and it was really that finger where 11A, it had initially been, it had initially gone from 11 to 12, and when we reviewed the delineation, with Dave Crossman, Rose and I felt that the line actually did have that little bit of a finger. So 11A was added to the plan, but it was not nearly so much as of a finger that you'll see on the 2020 approved plans.
Yeah.
So
we
this,
don't-
this
so-
delineation is, we would say this is an accurate delineation as of today,
Yeah,
and that the commission approve this ANRAD. And I just want to make that sort of distinction
yes.
because it's complicated with the next item,
Okay.
which is a violation on the same property.
Got it,
Mhm.
okay.
So the first thing we're being asked, as Delia said, is just to approve this new wetland delineation. Just focusing on that, are there any questions from the commissioners? No.
No,
Any public comments? Just on this new delineation? No. Okay, so in that case, I think we can go ahead and approve that. And do we have a motion or anything? We don't.
So that would be, that would be to issue an order of resource area delineation with this approved plan.
Okay.
I move that we issue an order of resource area delineation based on the plan submitted as part of this, this is
So this was submitted yesterday. This was in
ANRAD
October.
137-1725.
yeah,
This is
Yes.
based on, Montgomery, is this a 1028 plan? Can you just go down to the right-hand corner of this plan?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry about
based on
that.
plan
Yeah.
created by Stamsey at McNeary, dated
10/28.
10/28/25.
Thank you. And the vote, Jim?
Aye.
Bill?
aye,
Do we second it? I second
Yeah.
it.
Somebody said, yeah.
Okay.
You did. I and I'm an I as well, thank you. Okay, so that's been approved. Now we can move forward to discuss the violation.
Before we do,
Yeah,
I'd like a
I
brief
got
bio
that.
break. I'll be right back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a question. So as far as we know, if somebody would have asked for this back in the past, when they decided to let it, everyone thought it was high and they decided to let it go. It's likely that something would have ended up close to what we have now, that we just approved, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in your history, I just wanted, there's nothing's really changed, so it's
I don't
probably.
think so. I mean,
Not accurate.
so the old plan, and we'll see that maybe Rose, if you want to pull up the 2020 plan, the finger extension on that was a much longer extension. And we didn't see that evidence
I see.
when we went out last week. And I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, when I forget if it was Dave Crossman or Stansky or who had asked, please come out and review this. It was clear that that line was high. And so we agreed, Dave Crossman and I, agreed on a line in the fields, but they never pursued it to put it on a plan.
I see.
So it's hard to see on this plan because the scale is different, the layout is different. What you're looking at is you can see the wetlands. So that finger
Yeah.
where Rose's cursor is up at the top, that is the finger. It's a much more extensive.
Oh, yeah, got it.
Yeah. Mhm.
And so these are now posted, are they the 2020 plans?
We,
Or not?
we did just
Not yet.
post those after we
Yeah,
talked
so I
to you
know the
today.
commission hasn't had a chance, I haven't had a chance to look at them, I know we have copies in our write-up, but they're really hard to read, so I just want to acknowledge that the commission hasn't had a chance to really dig into these details, so we'll talk it through. And then I think actually a site visit would be helpful for this one, but we'll wait till Nick comes back and then we can talk about it.
okay.
It's hard to see the grading of this.
But well, I'm just trying to understand that, so the major issue is this so-called finger. right? I mean, in terms of the differences between the two
Yeah,
delineations.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Between,
That's all,
that's right.
I'm not
That's it.
trying, that's,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get into the other thing, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to understand again.
That's the only
delineations.
difference.
Oh, okay.
That's the only difference.
So everything else is pretty much the way it was,
Yep.
except this
That-
notion that it doesn't come in as far as.
Right.
Great.
So Nick, I was just acknowledging that even though we have some copies of the 220 plans in our thumbnail, we haven't had a chance to look in detail at the 220 plans to
Right.
remind us, because they have been posted now, but not in time for us to look at them.
Okay.
So we're gonna have a general discussion. I think a site visit will be helpful, but we can talk about that as we go along.
Okay.
Okay, so
Montgomery, are you planning to present? Or? Okay, well, I can give, I can give an overview.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
So-
Madam Chairperson or committee member, if I could have a moment, whenever appropriate, just to be heard, I'd appreciate it.
yeah, sure. So maybe if I could ask Delia to summarize why this is a violation discussion, and then we can have your comments.
Thank you very much.
So in 2020, the commission issued a permit, and that was to basically provide a back lawn, a backyard. And if you want to pull up that 2020 plan, this was the reconstructed house that was sitting on the base of a steep slope. And so if you can you outline the house?
So the new house was up by this time.
The new house was
Yeah.
up. And this plan is really hard to read in terms, to see in terms of,
Oh, I can see the house now. Is that the house?
On the right,
Very
yeah,
vague.
it's on the right.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, seeing if I could outline it.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Not sure if I can. Well, I can at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see it. We see it. Okay, see the house.
That's the house.
That's the new house.
And then
Oh, I
can you
see.
show the slope beyond the house? So there's so maybe zoom in a little bit.
Which way is up and down?
Down is
Towards
left.
the wetlands. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see there's a steep slope immediately adjacent to the house.
Yeah.
And there's a path that is flat, that is to be the existing slope to be maintained as a construction access. That was intended to be a sort of path down to the beige area that was going to be a flattened out lawn area.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then there was a 2-to-1 slope that was proposed. And there was the leach fields. You can see that outlines there.
Mm-hmm.
That had been the approval from the prior, before this demo and rebuilds and before these homeowners came to request the ability to have basically a backyard. So that was the approved plan, and then as part of that, there was a planting plan that was approved. There were some trees that were to be removed that were in this regraded area. And then these colored dots are different plantings that were proposed to be installed to help stabilize the slope. The slope was supposed to be also stabilized with a FlexTerra application.
Okay.
When
And so,
you said 2-to-1 slope, I mean a 50% grade?
I mean, yeah,
1 foot into, 1 foot change for every
2 feet,
feet
yeah,
of-
two,
A big slope.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
50% slope, yeah, okay, great.
that is a 50%, that is right. So that's,
Okay.
I mean, that
It's
is,
quite a slope.
Yeah.
right, right. And so then there was a pool that was proposed and signed off because it was outside the 50. So it was exempt, as the current regulations allow. And I was alerted to tree clearing activities that were occurring this summer, and I went out and saw that there was some tree clearing that had occurred and much more extensive slope work, and it appeared that the pool was in the 50-foot no-build zone, or partially. And so I asked the homeowners to prepare an as-built plan, and it was also evident that the slope was unstable and was steeper than what had been approved.
This
This is just the lower slope.
Of the
Sorry.
lawn or to the right?
The, that,
The
so.
one part of this plan.
Right.
On the left.
And so it was also. Actually, if you go to the next plan. You can see that, let me just zoom in a little bit. That the slope had been constructed far different than what had been approved, and so essentially it's far steeper. The limits of work are far more extensive. The grading came up. So essentially that whole slope that had been below the house is gone.
So there was a drop off below the house.
Right.
Then there was the flat area, then there was a second, it
Another
was a
slope.
stepped, it was a stepped area.
It was
There's
stepped.
no step anymore.
No, it's
all
just
flat.
the house, the pool and a slope.
Okay.
And so,
So, excuse me, so, but there would be quite a drop from the house down to the, I don't understand, was the flat area raised or was everything lowered?
the flat area was raised.
Okay.
So
that's
there
what
was
the-
additional fill that was brought in,
Okay,
I believe, to accomplish that.
apparently.
And the grading was extended on,
So
both up
basically,
and down on the
so
plan.
basically, it had the effect of bringing the flat area closer to the house.
It just brought it up.
Just brought it up.
Yeah,
Instead of being two tiered, it was now one.
Right,
correct.
Just area.
Okay.
right.
And then the slope, instead of being 2 to 1, is what?
I mean, it's a lot steeper. I mean, as I would estimate, it's 1.4 to 1, but that needs to be determined. And I mean, the problem is the slope is unstable. The applicant, I had issued a violation letter, which the commission has seen. They have confirmed that they've given evidence that they had a company come out and put Flexterra down. It was not successful, so I don't know if it wasn't properly applied. I don't know if they didn't use the right amounts. But I think the homeowners tried to follow through with that.
This was done prior to your.
So this was done after my site
After
visit
your
in the
visit,
summer.
okay.
So the pool it's not in the 50 no build zone, it's outside of that.
So this is now the newly approved line. It's in the 100-foot, but it's the 50
Okay.
foot is in the middle
Yeah,
of
this
this.
is the
Okay.
15.
It's
Right.
because of
Here.
the changes in the line, okay.
Right, right.
Okay.
It had been,
Thank
you
you
know,
for
it had
that.
been, right. I mean, that's good news. for the
Essentially, it's
homeowners.
grandfathered to where it is. Okay.
So can I just ask a quick question? Is, if part of the backyard, so to speak, was raised, that raising of that didn't have any impact on the issue where you were putting the 50-foot line? Or the wetlands
No, it
delineation
didn't.
before?
That's correct.
So, in other words, you didn't sort of raise it out of by adding it, it wasn't necessarily raised out of wetlands. It was-
So
yeah.
I'll tell you, it's interesting because if you look at the existing grade at the base of the slope is at 171. And then if you pull up the interim as-built plan, which is looking at the original delineation, you can see that original delineation is under the slope.
Hmm.
And I don't quite understand that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
So-
weird.
It is weird because it hasn't, I think that needs,
So the original delineation just was a problem.
well,
I mean, it was probably.
it
just a
was,
bad
but I don't
thing.
believe, I mean,
Yeah.
I have to look at this a little bit further because it's very complicated. We need more information from the engineers.
Mm.
But that plan seems to indicate that Phil went out into the wetlands, but the grades don't
Yeah.
agree with that.
Right.
So I don't understand how, but
almost
I
like
think,
everything.
I mean, we need a plan
You
from
need
the
an
engineer.
engineering explanation.
Correct.
Right.
And
Okay.
so I think there's additional information that the commission is gonna need to evaluate this. I mean, the septic is under a lot of fill at this point.
It
I don't.
is.
So if you go back to the approved that plan, so, because it's not shown on any other plans, there's a septic location.
That's the leaching field.
That's the leaching field and the D-box, there's, it's.
Where's the
can't-
D-box?
It's above it.
You can see it, it's,
You can barely see it.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, got it.
so I did anyway, that's what I did.
So that's likely a Presby system because it's built into a slope, but it's now it's got a lot more fill on top of it.
Would it pass Title V?
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
So there's some issues. I think a site visit is a very good idea.
Is the health department gonna look at that?
Yeah. Okay. But I think the major concern is that there is an unstable slope, and so I had directed in the violation letter that they have a certified professional erosion and sedimentation control person prepare a plan, which, you know, we can talk about the deadlines. The deadline for that was this Friday. The violation letter was issued last Friday, so that's a tight timeframe. And it may not be possible. I asked the applicants to find out when that plan could be prepared. But I think, you know, I mean,
We need more information to know what the
Yeah.
situation is.
correct.
And I'm happy to let the applicant speak here in a second, but I guess what I'm still struggling with, I'm not saying it hasn't been done, I'm just saying I haven't got it in my mind yet, is sort of generally what the narrative of this is among the things that we're looking at with respect to this issue of a violation and what might be done about it, clearly is an unstable slope, that for sure. And then what I've heard is there used to be sort of a step down from the house, sort of a flat area and then a step down, and now it's just flat. And I'm just trying to figure out if that sort of fill is is it just a fact, or is it something else that we're trying to understand and make a determination about whether or not that's
So
the problem.
part of it is, has anything been done that's a violation of a previous?
Right.
A previous order?
Yes,
Right.
It was approved, right?
No, I understand
Yeah.
that. I'm just trying, that's why I'm trying to get the idea of what I'm looking at. I mean,
Yeah.
the previous order of conditions had as far as we've heard so far, had a 2-to-1 slope.
Right.
And it's now, we believe, less than 2-to-1, and as a consequence, it's not only different from the plan, but it's a erosion and
It's a
other,
hazard.
it's a
It's a
hazard because it's not stable.
Mhm.
And then we approved a plan that had sort of 2 tiers in the backyard, and maybe it only has 1. And I guess maybe I'm asking the question, I understand that, and is that a potential something to look at for a violation as well, or?
I mean, I
I'm just
think the
asking.
way, right, and no, I
I'm
think
just
that's
trying to get
exactly the right way to think about it, and I think, you know, generally, you know, in these sorts of situations, when a plan comes back and it's not what the commission approved, you generally will ask, would we have approved this if it had come in front of us,
Right.
right? So what had been
Was the
previous,
COC issue?
no,
Oh,
No.
okay, so COC was never issued.
it had, no, I mean, the work is still, they've
Well,
done no
not for this.
plantings, so there's ongoing work.
No, I mean the
that's-
COC for the
the-
original, 2-tiered,
No,
backyard.
there was plantings that
see.
were never done.
Okay.
So it's still open on
So
that.
it's still open, it will expire, probably this December. I have to look at the permit extension act,
Right,
but yeah,
but that's
that's-
irrespective, but that's saying
yeah.
irrespective of whether there's a violation or not. At some point, one has to
It's an
figure
open
out
OOC.
Yeah.
if you satisfy the conditions.
So absolutely, it's come to our attention.
So-
So it's like levels of first
Right.
this, then that, right, yes.
Which is what I was trying, so this has been really helpful, thank you very much, because what I was trying to understand is sort of factually, when we go on
In
the
what
site visit,
order?
for example, what are we actually looking at?
Yeah,
It seems
right.
like factually, we're looking at a slope, and we're looking at a sort of backyard that is different from what was on the.
Yeah,
But
and
original.
we all
So
need
to
a
me-
chance to look at the original plans so that we have a
Right.
clear.
So in terms of sequencing, the most urgent thing is to get the slope stabilized.
Mhm.
That's the violation. the next thing.
Well, I
is-
mean, I think stabilizing the slope is like an immediate, because
Right,
if the
right.
slope
I
fails,
understand, I understand.
Right.
I'm
But-
acknowledging that.
but the violation is far more than just.
I understand that.
Okay,
I
I'm
was
sorry.
starting.
Okay, sorry,
So
sorry.
our most immediate concern is to stabilize the situation.
Mhm.
Our next concern is the order of conditions that appears to have been violated,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Okay,
Good.
yep.
Okay, so maybe I
now
will
statements.
let them.
Thank you so much, folks, and nice to meet you all. It's my first time, obviously, appearing before this committee, and I appreciate the time tonight. I just wanted to give a quick factual background of really what's going on here. First of all, my clients are environmentalists. They will do anything to make sure the situation is remediated. There's been no willful or knowing violation of anything that any kind of plan to their knowledge. What really occurred was they put their faith into a fraudulent contractor, which his name won't be mentioned now because there's pending litigation. I was hired. I've conducted a thorough investigation, including reviewed numerous communications between the parties. And frankly, the contractor took the job, claimed that he submitted plans, sold them a bill of goods, and then completely failed to finish the work and disappeared. Unfortunately, a tale as old as time in the contracting world, but this is exactly what happened to my clients here. One little interesting tidbit is when my demand letter was sent in the spring of 2025 regarding the pre-demand letter before litigation was ensued. The very next day, the tree work that this contractor conducted on his own, this mysterious call from a neighbor that wrongful trees were removed, came in to Madam K, who came out and respected the removal of trees. So I'm not claiming foul play, but I think the inference is that this contractor received a demand letter, and the tree work that he conducted that my clients believed were compliant based because he was the one running the project. He's the one who claimed he had all these permits. That when the whistle was blown shortly thereafter. I note that my clients are fully trying to comply with everything that this committee is asking of them. They have young children. They want to make sure it's a safe environment for them. They already have been in communication with Ms. K. I know they have plans that potentially as soon as Friday would be submitted regarding the grade work and the remediation plan going forward. I hope that all this information regarding and I've been litigating a long time, and I can tell you the facts of this contractor case are very concrete and well supported, that my clients were unfortunately taken advantage of, and it's unfortunate, but I hope that's considered by the committee. And my clients are more knowledgeable of the ongoings of the project now that they've taken control of it from this contractor. So any further questions you could probably direct towards them, and they'd be happy to answer.
Can I just ask a factual question? When did these owners become the owners of the property?
2018.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the next steps are response to the violation letter. And then the next hearing, the next meeting on the,
I think a site visit would be
Site visit.
helpful.
yes.
Right, but it sounds like what we're hearing is people are
No
all
one's,
aligned on the notion that we have to figure out how to stabilize this.
no one's,
We
no
don't
one's,
have any
There's no
disagreement
disagreement.
on anybody's part. that we have
no
to
one's
do this.
contesting fact.
And so is there, just so I know, where it sounded like if plans were submitted by like Friday or something, that the ball is in their court for the moment to submit those plans, and then you're gonna respond to the, et cetera,
Well,
how this works.
So,
I'm just
yeah,
worried about the slope because we got like 22 days and I don't want it
I
to
know.
fall down either.
I know. I mean, that's my goal in issuing that letter was to get some immediate action
And you
to,
did. So that's great.
yes. And so, I would like to hear from the homeowners in terms of they've spoken with, people who are qualified CPESCs when they can provide a plan that can be reviewed, and as soon as it's, you know, I think if it's an acceptable plan, and I assume it would be, then it is immediately implemented. And that could happen concurrent with a site visit, because I think a site visit for the commission would be helpful to
I
understand
agree.
what next steps need
Yep.
to occur. You know, we started to talk about what, you know, happens with this violation, and that's the next thing that needs to be addressed. And, you know, what had been previously approved was slope work up to the 25 foot no disturb zone. And so the current plan shows that that portion is in compliance, but there's far more extensive work, so that would need mitigation. There's more trees that have been removed that would need to be mitigated. There's some damage to existing trees out there. So there's, I mean, these are minor.
Does it work? I know that the septic tank, you said the Board of Health are looking at, and that's obviously not our purview, but how would we coordinate with them?
Right.
If there was anything that needed to be done there?
So we need to see a plan, and maybe we can talk about that now, what needs to be shown on the plan. Because I think that plan needs to show the location of the septic
Yes.
on the current. We've seen it, we have not seen it other than what was approved in 2020.
Right,
So
yeah.
I think, and thank you for taking notes on this. Are you taking notes on this? Thank you. So the location of the septic, the depth to all components of the septic system, any tie-in from the pool house and those depths. What the slope actually is that we think is less than 2 to 1. What is that slope?
Is there a way of finding out how much has actually been added?
Correct,
Is
the
that-
volume,
yeah,
what's the volume and additional square footage of
Yeah.
fill?
Yeah.
May be hard because they got the contractor who put it in is not gonna be able.
Oh, it's
It's
an
not- I can
engineering
promise you he will
calculation.
not be
It's an,
helpful.
excuse me, it's an engineering calculation.
Oh, I see, based
Yeah.
on the.
Yeah,
Topography.
yeah.
Because they're existing plans, surveyed
Right,
plans.
right.
You know, understanding with that additional, you know, I mean, the commission has to decide, you know, you approved a 2 to 1 slope initially. Are you
Yes.
going to be comfortable with, I mean, we'll find out what that slope is, and then I
Yeah.
think the next step is, you know, and I think
Yeah.
the site visit will help to
Right.
see what that
Yeah.
looks
So
like.
what's the next step for tonight, do you think? Okay, what should we do now? Should we ask?
I think let's get a site visit scheduled.
Okay, all
Mhm.
right,
We'll do that now or we? No?
Right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then we'll go
As
from
a,
there. Is
just
that what
one
happens?
quick ask, as a property owner, I think Montgomery, you're on here, would you like to speak up about how you'd like to be notified for the site visit and how you can come at the same time?
Just email or phone call.
We're gonna
But we're gonna
schedule it,
schedule it right
we're
now.
gonna schedule it now.
Great.
Great.
Check that it works for everyone.
A prior site visit happened and, Stamsky was not notified.
Okay, well, we're gonna do it right now, so hopefully everyone will agree.
Good, right, and we did work with the consultant, the wetlands consultant to schedule that.
Anyway, we're trying to do one now, right?
So I'm away, Friday and Monday.
I'm away,
And the weekend.
I'm away Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Next week in New York.
Mhm.
Friday the 7th, sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, right,
It's okay with me.
well, yeah, it's gonna be a hard day for me too.
I'll be away.
So next week, we're gonna be missing someone from the commission.
That's okay with, I mean, if you wanna go without me, that's fine. but I'll-
If I were, the 7th is really horrible for me as well,
Okay,
just
let's-
because of
we can look
meetings
at the next
scheduled,
week.
so I would
Maybe we
say
could go
that there
without
was a
Jim.
time that
Yeah.
Bill could go earlier next week. You can't do it on Monday, but if you could be there like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
I
I could
can do
schedule, I
that,
think
yeah.
that'd be the best thing to do, because otherwise I'm just gonna be literally out of state and then in.
Oh, yeah, because our meeting's the following week anyway. Like,
So how about Tuesday the 4th or Wednesday the 5th? Does that work?
Either one's good for me. I'm okay.
Thanks, Jim.
And you can go. You don't, I mean.
Right,
you
on
can
your
go
own.
By yourself.
No, no, I
Yeah,
understand. I hear you. I'm just,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just,
yeah.
I just realized it's just a,
Mhm.
it's just a complete.
Okay, so to make sure we all go.
Washout week for
I'll
me.
make
Yeah.
aware. So, Tuesday or Wednesday, are we talking a morning or an afternoon?
I don't care either one for me. Bill,
Same, I'm okay. I'm okay,
those 2 days are wide open.
yeah.
I'd rather not do it late afternoon, but that's all.
Well, you're not gonna want to because it's gonna be daylight savings
that's
time.
right.
It's gonna go.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we try?
Wednesday, the 5th at 10 o'clock work.
It's fine for me.
10. Yeah, that worked.
Katie and Kim, does Wednesday the 5th work for you folks?
We're trying to figure.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll work around it. I'll change.
I'm
I
good
got a
on
meeting.
the 5th.
Okay.
Wednesday, the 5th works.
Montgomery?
I would say thank you for scheduling us in advance and letting us know. Because
Yes.
site visits, this has not happened.
So we said at 10 a.m. on the 5th.
10 a.m. on the 5th.
Okay.
What's
And
the address?
one of the questions I have for the site visit is, I know it sounds like Montgomery's going to be there. Is there anybody else that you would recommend we have there? Because as you're talking about not just the slope stabilization, but the other things, we are not contractors and like not your problem, right? But we don't know what we're doing. And so we're sort of taking information that we're getting from you, trying to digest it to fix it and relaying that to people. And then they're asking us all these questions and not understanding why certain things are necessary. And it's just I just don't know how to move forward in the best path to get you guys exactly what you want. And I want to get you exactly what you want.
At a site visit, we won't discuss and deliberate. We will ask questions, but I think, anything that comes out, please tell me if I'm wrong, Delia, but anything that comes out of that site visit, we would then follow up with requests and discuss in this public forum at the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, we can't design or give you recommendations, Katie, as we've talked about. I think having your engineer as your representative, you can have your attorney present, whoever, your team thinks would be helpful for you to help address this issue. But we're not able to provide you that kind of guidance. That's not a role that the town is in a position to provide.
We're just there to observe and collect information.
And understand. Yeah.
And then, of course, there will be a follow-up report following that visit.
There won't be a specific report from the visit. There will be the next hearing.
Okay, thank you.
There'll be minutes. I mean, there'll be minutes and.
And from the site visit, okay.
I'm sorry, I apologize. Can you clarify that minutes from, I thought you were not going to be.
Can you do minutes you're gonna issue minutes from the site visit?
AG's office says a site visit is, even though it's not a
Public
deliberation,
meeting,
it's
okay.
still, we do site visits for,
Okay.
I mean, we do minutes for site visits.
Okay, yes, there will be.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And if, just in the future, if I could be copied on anything, I know my clients would like me to be involved in this process as well.
And this would be, there'll be a public notice for this site visit.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
So, it would be helpful if you could email, your contact info. We don't have your information, so just email nr@concordma.gov and, Karen will include you on any correspondence.
Thank you so much.
And the one other question I have is on, I think it was March 19th of 2024, when the Natural Resources approved the plan that our contractor provided for us to actually, because we hadn't done anything with the 2020 plan. We didn't start doing anything until 2023. And I don't know if this gives you guys any faith in the slope, but without a doubt needs to be fixed, but it has been withstanding since December of 2023. That fill has been there. It was in 2024 when we added the pool house. So the fill and the slope has been there for about 2 years, and has been okay. So I don't want you to think where everybody's gonna fall through the ground, or if someone does think that, please let me know, because my kids won't be going out there. But it needs to be absolutely the erosion and whatever needs to be done to make it not continue to dip. But I still don't understand, even when I'm seeing you guys go through these plans, and that the commission had in their heads that we were operating off of that 2020 plan. That's where I get disconnected on how we got the pool and building and all of that approved via the NRC on what plan, because it wasn't on that plan. So what was that off of?
Are we missing a plan in between?
No, it was outside the 50-foot no build zone, so there was no permitting required because that is an exempt activity.
To add the fill all the way up
Okay.
there?
No,
Or
no,
you
the
thought,
pool.
you-
Nope,
your
just put the
understanding was
pool in.
the pool was gonna be 30 feet below the
No, we-
house?
What, should we ask for them to submit a sequence of
No, I
events?
don't think we need that, and
No.
I don't think this is.
But we need to see the previous plans.
We have the previous
Yeah.
plans.
Yeah, but if you
But
could
we
just,
may need to know what happened when.
well,
that's what my
yeah, I
question
think
is.
if you could just give us the.
And
Yeah,
that
I
would
mean,
be
if you wanna
provided-
provide a
provided
timeline, that-
orally that, so if you could just do it, right,
Mhm.
so that we can see.
Yeah,
it in front of us,
I
that'd be
would-
great.
Yeah.
I would
I
like to
can-
know the sequence that they thought that things happened.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Of
Okay.
course, and
So
I
we
can
ask
provide that
for any-
information in a letter to the committee.
Yeah, of
Oh, that would be
any work that was done on the land itself since the original order of conditions was issued.
Yeah, certainly. And I think just succinctly, what my client's trying to say is that some plan was submitted according to their contractor. Maybe that was complete.
Yeah, this is the problem.
Yeah, okay.
I forgot about that twist.
Because the permit and all of that is, while supposedly is in my name, it's not under I don't even have access to the login. It's under our former contractor's login and still tied to him. So I actually had to get his information when we were still engaged with him to even pay for my building permit. Because I don't have access to it. It's not via my building permit login. If I log in, there's nothing there.
It's hardscaping work, so there are no inspections unless we do them. There are no building department inspections.
Yeah,
Well, there
they
would have
do.
been for
Yes,
the
they
pool-
do.
For the
They-
pool.
We've had a lot of inspections, yeah, since 2024. There was a site visit in person with Karen and our contractor on March 19th of 2024.
The pool, Karen.
Karen Balakovich, maybe?
You know who that is?
No, I don't know who that is.
No.
She definitely used to exist in the natural
Yeah.
resources. I'd have to find the exact name. Kim, do you remember?
Okay.
Karen
And so it'd
Bakoven?
be helpful if you could provide a timeline of what your,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we'll post a notice for the site
Mhm.
visit.
Yeah,
Um,
Karen is an employee of the natural, was the.
Yeah,
was
Karen
an employee.
Bakoven,
She's-
yeah.
Karen is our
Sorry.
office coordinator. She
Okay.
will do site visits.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I could send you guys the email from what that site visit supposedly was, but
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, so we'll see you on Wednesday, 5th.
Thank
Yep.
you so much for your
Very
time, and
much.
we'll get the requested plan submitted as soon as possible.
We said 10 a.m.
Thank
right?
you.
10 a.m.
So you know what, then I would hold off on those plans. Let's, that's a starting point, but, we
Okay.
may need additional information. I think that the site visit may be the best place to formalize what we need on those plans.
Yeah, but is there still, they are or not gonna submit something on the slope?
Okay, I
Friday. We need that.
apologize. Look,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
yes, the slope restoration plan by Friday. And I'm sorry, I meant the engineered plan with the additional information. So please do get the CPESC plan in by Friday. Is that
Yeah,
possible for?
we're shooting for Friday. I think
Okay.
one of the issues was we had several engineers look at it and they scoured their office for a CPE, that acronym. certified individual, and I guess there's only 28 in the state. So we're in the process of getting that appropriate stamp, and the plan is to have it done by Friday, but if not, it might fall into Monday.
I can speak a little bit to I spent the last 48 hours searching and the database. I've called, I would say that the SPE, the CPESC folks, the 28 in the state of Massachusetts. I was able to call 4, 2 answered out of the 28. They are very lovely people. What I will tell you, what I discovered is it's a $400 fee to get the certification, and a lot of engineering firms do that for their most junior employees when they first start out. So I have found, I think, some experienced ones through our engineers, and feel pretty confident 2 of them are reviewing it right now. So just wanted to provide you guys with that information. There is a list of the 28 in the state of Massachusetts. So
Okay, thank you.
no problem.
We're ready to move on, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Work all
All right,
together
thank you
to
folks
fix
for your
this.
time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have
you.
2 certificates of compliance. Could you give us through them, please, Divya?
Yes, 147 Minot, just had come to you previously. They did have a cantilever deck, so we asked them to do some additional mitigation plantings for the increase. Those have been completed and that is ready to be issued. 328 Border Road is a partial for construction of a pool and some cabana structures. There's still, the outstanding item for that is the mitigation, but they did request a partial.
Okay, I'll do it. I move that we issue a partial certificate of compliance for 328 Border Road, DEP file 137-1365. And a complete certificate of compliance for 147 Minot Road, DEP file 137-1613.
Second.
Thank you. And the vote, Jim?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Nick? And I'm an aye as well. Thank you.
We didn't ask for public comment on Garfield.
Oh, gosh.
So, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, going back to 150 Garfield Road, I just want to check if there are any public comments.
Yeah, plenty of opportunities.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay, next we have, hopefully the final version, almost, the, Warner's Pond Management Committee charge. The current updated theme version has been posted. I know, Nick just has one request.
Yes.
Would you like to talk us through that?
Yeah, I looked through some of the reports that were online, the resources that the committee used, and the one that struck me that was missing from here was the issue of sediment. And in the section of duties and responsibilities, under number 2, it says building on any previously collected data, undertake clear and specific data collection for the following: water quality, second bullet, biodiversity, and I'm suggesting that a third bullet be sediment accumulation, because there already are reports on that, and it seems to me a very important aspect of the usability for recreation in the long term for the pond.
I think that's a good idea. Any?
I don't see any problem with that.
Okay.
So I have a couple.
Mm-hmm.
The first is if you just turn the page and look at the current last bullet point. I mean, which would now be the 4th bullet point after Nick's comment. It says, I think it's just out of place. It says review and recommend specific recreation improvements, considering the use of pond for fishing, boating, etc. But that's not really data collection. I think it's actually more about item 6 rather than item 2. You look at item 2 says you're gonna get specific.
You're right,
data collection
you're right.
of the following.
Yep.
And then it says.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
So I think it goes with, I'm gonna guess it goes with item 6, but that was just me. below it.
As another item, do you think, Jim, or just
No,
as
just
an attachment?
Weave it into the.
Weave it in there, maybe,
Sure.
I don't know, because that's where we talk about the park and the property and all that stuff.
I see, because it's yes, I see your point, exactly. Others are our reviews, blah, blah, blah.
Data reviews.
Do you want to just add that bullet in the beginning of number 6?
Add that bullet.
Yeah, you
Yes,
could do
I like
that,
that.
absolutely.
All
You
right,
could just add it as a new sentence, yes.
Yeah.
good, okay.
Beginning. The second is, I was telling Bill, is a mathematical point, so under membership and terms,
Mhm.
we are now have 7 members, but we say that no more than 2 people's term can expire in the same year, but with 7 members, that doesn't work.
Three-year
You have
term.
to have, in 3-year terms, you have to have 2, and
Correct.
and three people have to be in one of the terms. It just.
Yes, you're right.
How about if we just get rid of that whole part and just say terms will be staggered to ensure continuity, period?
Yeah, that's.
We don't have to go into it, and then we.
That's fine with me, but we just can't say.
No,
more
no,
than
you're
3
right.
terms.
I think it's helpful to have that in, on the, how they will be staggered. I think that's standard to say,
Yeah.
you're gonna do.
Okay, well,
All right, well,
Three
then
and
it's got to change the math then.
yeah, no more than 3
Three-
terms will end in any
Okay.
one year.
3,
because-
3, 1,
Well, it
right?
could
3,
be,
3, 1.
no, 3, 2, 2.
3,
That's
2,
seven-
2.
that's 7.
3, 2, 2.
Yeah, 7. 3, 1, 1 is 5.
3, 3, 1, I said.
Yeah, oh, 3, 3, 1. Well,
Yeah.
that's.
Oh, that's
3, 2, 2.
That's 7, but yeah,
Yeah.
3, 2, 2. And then the last one is a question, and I think this is actually a substantive question. I understand the membership, the one NRC representative, former current one, Warner's Pond, et cetera, those first 3.
Mm-hmm.
The at-large representatives, I truly don't know. Were we contemplating that they would be 4 people who were did not have any of those characteristics of the 3 above? Or is it possible, for example, that you could have a Friends of the Warner's Pond representative and one of the at-large members could also be a member of Friends of the Warner's Pond?
Yeah,
I
Yes,
just-
yeah.
I
yes.
just wanted to.
I think,
I just
yeah.
wanted- I just wanted to make sure.
It just means they're not
Okay,
specifically, and they don't have to specifically be anything
that's
else apart from having.
That's all I just wanted.
No,
We're just trying to build expertise.
No, I just wanted to clarify
Yeah.
that because I didn't want to
Jim.
feel like somebody would say, oh.
There's one now I can't be part of it or something.
But I
Yeah.
do want to say thank you very much for, this is really, I think this really captured all of that. The major, issues that were done and was really done.
Yeah.
Other than the additional. My mathematics.
Oh, boy, Matt, yeah, it's true.
Okay, so, if everybody is comfortable with with the changes we've discussed, not having to review it again and.
Right,
And
no.
just,
Can you just specify exactly what you want in that sedimentation bullet?
2 words,
2 words.
just
sediment
sedimation.
accumulation,
Accumulation, yeah.
Sedimentation. accumulation.
sediment
Sediment.
accumulation.
Right.
Steve, if you
Okay.
can make the changes
You
and
can't
then
have
just
2
send to me
adjectives in a row without a noun.
to confirm, I think will be good.
Well, you
Sedimentation.
Yeah.
Can we vote to approve of it
As
as
amended.
amended?
Yeah.
Yes,
Tonight.
we can, but we
Yeah.
gotta get
Yes.
public comment.
We'll
first.
get
Yeah, but I agree, definitely. Yeah.
And then before we go to public comment, I just want to say that, we need to, I don't suppose you found out when it has to be in at the bridge, did you? No.
Eric, when is the letter, so you know this off the top of your head, is it tomorrow? I'm assuming it's the same as the legal notice, stuff has to get in
Today,
on a Thursday to get. to
on a
the final
Thursday.
Friday's paper.
Is it a certain time on Thursday?
By the end of business,
Okay, so the aim is then, assuming we vote this in tonight, we'll get something into the bridge tomorrow if we can. So that they then, we're asking for letters of interest.
Mhm.
When will that be published? If we get it in tomorrow, it's the following Friday?
Yeah, that's why we want to try and get it in tomorrow.
Or 8 days later, right?
Um,
7th
yeah.
of November.
Okay, any other comments from commissioners before I open to public?
No.
Nope.
Any public comment? Christine,
Yeah, I just have a question actually for Nick.
Sorry,
If you could-
Chris, if you could just introduce yourself.
Oh, sorry,
Thank you.
Christine Navarro.
Yeah.
189 Commonwealth Ave. a question about the sediment accumulation. What are you looking for with that? So I can
I
understand
just,
that.
I found it, when I look back at the other documents, it's clear that sediment is a significant issue in the pond, and it's obviously gonna compromise recreational opportunities eventually. So just, what is the sediment situation? How fast is it accumulating? What was it?
So
It's
so
part-
we're just measuring probably how it's increasing or changing.
Certainly how it's
but not-
increasing and what the implications are for the future and whether or not that's something that needs action.
Okay.
That's my intent, so that,
That's, yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's under, I think it's under the measurement
So
Right.
category.
Yeah,
not-
that's
not
what-
the
exactly.
remediation category, but just what we wanna measure.
Yeah, I have no idea what, what to say about it other, I just, when I looked at the old documents, I said, well, that's interesting information, but is it getting worse?
Right,
How much
right.
worse?
The good news is at least when the dam was taken down, it removed a lot of sediment.
Yeah,
That when the dam was rebuilt, so that's a good thing, but
Yeah,
still,
definitely.
I understand now, thank you.
Was that your only? comment?
That, and my 2 cents is I do think this came out very well, I'm very pleased with it,
Oh,
and,
good,
I'm very happy that this is where we're at right now.
great, good.
Great, great. Any of those comments in the room? No? Anything online? Paul has his hand up.
Yeah,
Paul,
hi,
go ahead.
everyone. I just want
Hi.
to thank you. I think this came out very well, as Christine said. I want to thank you for,
Sorry, Paul, just for the record, if you could introduce yourself.
oh yes, Paul Bohm, 11 Ridgewood Road, Select Board member. I think that's all. Yeah, I want to thank you for incorporating my comments and also those of Mark Howell as well. I think this has come out really well. And I do applaud you reaching out to the community broadly in seeking interest through the bridge. I think that's really way to go. So this is off to a good start. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
thanks, Paul.
I don't see any other hands up.
Yeah.
Okay, so could I have a motion to vote? please?
I make a motion that we accept this present charge as amended.
Second,
And the vote, Jim,
Aye,
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 and I'm an aye as well.
great.
We got there.
carry forth.
Okay, we have 2 more items on the agenda.
I thought we were done.
A committee appointment.
Mhm.
Should I just read it out?
Yes,
So this is for the Trails Committee for Wayne Lord of 223 Elsinore Street. For a term to expire May 31st, 2028. Is Wayne already on the Trails Committee?
so Wayne's not on the Trails Committee. He is a trail steward. He had been a trail steward for about 3 years. He took a little bit of time off to travel and he's back now and is interested in taking David Clark's seat, which David recently resigned.
Okay, good, thank you. And we have 1 administrative, or we don't need to vote, do we? Or do we? We have to vote, okay. Could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion that we appoint Wayne Loeb to be member of the Trails Committee.
Second,
Thank you, and the vote, Jim,
aye,
Bill,
Aye,
Nick,
aye,
and I'm an aye as well.
And we have 1 administrative approval, and this is for a tree removal at 672 Old Bedford Road. It's a Norway maple. It is close to a house that is going to be reconstructed and the contractor would like to remove it. We don't have any issues with it since it is invasive. And they're also going to be placing erosion controls within the 100-foot buffer zone for some reconstruction as well as removing some shrubs. And I'm sorry, I don't recall exactly. I think they were arborvitae. But that may not be entirely correct. But those are also in the 100-foot buffer zone.
okay.
Thank you, that sounds fine.
Mhm.
It's always good to take down a Norway maple. Yeah. Okay,
well, can I ask you, this is just a.
should we
open
adjourn the
question.
meeting?
No, well, you can either do it one way or the other. Are we making any progress in adding another member of this commission?
Oh, I can update on that. Julie and I met with Mark Howell and Kerry probably about 3 weeks ago now to discuss various matters.
just before you left.
They confirmed that Nick could not stay on as a as a member because he's already on the transportation committee. So we could not make an exception to keep him longer. As we do have some proposals for new members, which Kerry is considering. So now I'm back, I'm gonna send her a note tomorrow and ask her if she has finished her considering, and I hope we can, I assume you haven't heard anything. No, no.
What's the process? She looks at them first, then. you
I
get
think
to
she
look
probably
at-
wants to discuss with Mark in private.
She
She was
She
trying to
interviews
set up an,
people too.
she's
does,
trying
she
to set up an
interviews people,
interview,
yeah.
yeah.
And then she would
She
appoint,
interviewed
and then
me.
it goes to select board
Yeah.
for, it's a town manager appointment, the select board.
Yeah.
Right, but someone, you or someone gets to look at them too.
Oh, we've
Decide-
done all that, we did that
Oh, you've already
months
done
ago,
it. Okay,
yeah,
good.
months ago,
That's, I wasn't clear in the sequence.
yeah, yeah, so we're,
So I'm just here until you get a replacement for me, right?
yeah.
Yeah, then we still need another
We're definitely
replacement.
gonna.
So we need two.
Two people,
Two
And
people.
we're, we
No,
need,
no,
no, we need two people.
well,
Me plus the one you're missing. You're already
That's
missing one.
right. We
Right,
need two, we
that's
need
true.
two members, and we're also considering having some, what are they called? Associate
Associate.
members.
Yeah.
Because we do have interested people who haven't served on Concord committees before, for example.
Sure.
Get some experience
And
first.
you're
So,
off-
there's a
You're
few
off
people in
that-
play.
that part.
right.
I'm off in
right.
April, so we need another one then.
Would that be like, planning board or something where you have people who can vote when others aren't there?
We don't, we would have to amend the
Charter.
structure
So-
for the associate member policy.
They'd be like alternates is what they would.
It's only the
There-
zoning
yeah.
board of appeals, and the zoning board of appeals has it because you have to have three votes.
Mhm.
And so there's a three-member board of appeals, but you can't have two votes
I got
to
it.
pass. It
No.
has to be a three vote, all three votes. So if you
So it's
don't
like,
have a.
it's like
if a
jury,
person's
it's like
missing-
juries.
It's like if a person's missing, then you don't even have an
That's it,
ability
might
to
not be
act.
necessary for us.
If you don't have an associate member.
Okay, I'm now gonna adjourn this meeting.